Original question I was trying to get was, the revealing to Iblis the will, is that the first transgression, or in relationship to intergalactical traveling, in violation of that? If you could put the two together, you know, if I wanted,
intergalactical law does not have anything to do with laws govern the planet Earth. Once man was on the planet Earth, then laws were set up for him here, according to what his nature had regressed to, while he was in an etheric state, correct, as a spiritual being. He was judged by galactical laws, the laws that the angels are judged by. You follow what I'm saying? Angelic beings. That's why the conversation came up. Well, is the laws of the Quran has it, is the laws of the earth going to be the same as the laws here, which means are you going to create another Michael, or is he an Iblis? That was what the angels was asking. When they said, will you create one that will cause mischief and shed blood in the earth? They were really saying, is the laws that govern earth the same as the laws that govern heaven? And is this Adam another Iblis that's going to cause trouble? And Allah says he knows what they know not. That's not their business to understand the laws of earth as opposed to galactical law. You follow? So the angels are governed by different laws than men are.
So you're saying, are you saying that they're both the same? Revealing of the will is the same as violating the laws in that the next realm, or the spiritual realm of Malakut?
Yes, revealing the law of the nature of man to the Malaika, the angels in Malakut, violated galactical law. It did not violate earth law. The results of it was sentence you, your woman, and this devil to earth, and you all will be each other's rivals ila yawm al-akhiri, until the last day, because you've done it.
I see. Is it correct that human beings, or man, not mankind, are baby angelic beings who haven't have to?
But see, it's a spiral in and out process. You were a ruh when you was in Malakut as Adam. He was created a ruh. Then he was at the point of transition, he becomes a nafsun. And then when he becomes physical, he becomes jasad. When you take the ruh and jasad, the body, you get a nafsa, a person. That's why you say nafsi, myself. You follow what I'm trying to say?
Right.
The nafsa is merely the spirit. Now, the cherubim, the fallen angels, have just jasad and nafs. They do not have a ruh. A ruh is min Allah Ta'ala. As you read in the Quran many places, he said, I sent my spirit into Jesus. I sent down the Holy Quran in Laylatul Qadri wa ruh, and my soul was there. You follow? So there's a definite difference.
Are you saying that the angelic beings do not have
the body? They don't have the jasad. And when they become incarnated, in order for you to see them in an etheric form, they must become, a lack of a better word, is a self. And that self in Arabic is nafsa. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So as they leave the stage of ruh, they come into, as they start to personify, the first appearance is the crystallization process, which gives an etheric body, or what people call the presence of a misty or exoplasma or a spirit-like form. And then the next stage, if they continue to slow up in vibration, because it's about vibration, they begin to slow up in vibration, then they start to take on the forms of the magnetic currents that surround the Earth's atmosphere. And finally, they become a physical body, which is governed by a sympathetic nerve system, which is in tune with the magnetic force field that surrounds the planet. You follow? So man is basically in tune with magnetism. That's what keeps his body, his physical composition, which in the Quran is referred to as jasad, keeps it together. And if you was to release the magnets in this planet, all the elements would explode back. All the molecules and atoms will go back, and they will start to reduce themselves and start to vibrate at a more rapid pace, and then man would transform from a physical being into a spiritual being, which would just be the second step. You follow? And if man continues to raise into the bosom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he becomes a soul. Once he becomes a soul, he is in the presence of lahud, in the bosom of Allah. But he has to go from lahud, where Ar-Ruh dwells, to they call nafsa, which is malakut, and then down to the physical being jasad, which is where nasut is, our physical.
So we're the angelic beings have already split, and I'm trying to...
Yes, the angelic beings split like you did, but this degree. Once you finally got into the earth, you had a conscious and an unconscious, which you refer to as a voluntary and an involuntary system, which would break you down if you was a 360-degree being to a what? 180-degree being. 180 degrees of man's actions activated by his brain are voluntary, and 180 degrees of man's actions by his brain are involuntary functions. If you understand what I mean.
Right.
All right? So if you could split these two down, when you voluntarily do things that you know are bad for you, for instance, to smoke a cigarette, which is really bad for the physical body. So you have to premeditate the dangers and then set out to do it. You see that? That is executing a form of will. And that will, because it's detrimentary to the physical composition, which is merely a temple for the soul, is an evil act. It manifests as an evil part of will. On the other hand, when you decide to become a vegetarian and to stop drinking alcohol beverages and smoking cigarettes and taking in any kind of drug, you use another side of your voluntary functions, you follow? Which leads into a healthier involuntary participation. I don't know if I'm losing you. I'm trying not to.
No, you
understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
and that would be the good side of things. So the angelic beings are your voluntary and involuntary systems working. The involuntary part are those who are called seraphin, who work by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala faqat, only. And then your voluntary function that you control have incarnated as what is referred to as cherubim or cherubims, wicked beings which refer to as jinn in the Quran, or the plural for shaitan, and they manifest things on their, doing it according to their own will. You see what I'm saying? Now man has within him both of these attributes. One, to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and next to make decisions not to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You follow?
Right. So that would be the will within us.
That is the will within you, the jihad the Quran refers to as a struggle.